welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. It's show number 154. Ian, we're I'm amazed as the number of shows climbs because, like, it's almost as if no one has stepped in to stop us.
No one will stop us.
Yeah, no one will stop us.
We're unstoppable.
At this point, we're unstoppable. All right, so we're brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, and in the shops at Clear Fork and Fort Worth, BB Italia on Memorial in Houston, and BB Lemon on Washington Ave. Our special guests today, Ben Williams and Wendell Robbins, who are both with Highway Vodka, Texas' first hemp-based vodka. We've tasted it, we've talked about it, and we're going to talk some more about vodka. I wanted to ask you guys, once you know you've got a product that's good and people are telling you it's good and you've done enough, taste tests and stuff, you know that it's well received. Now you face what to me is probably the harder challenge even than, coming up with the good product, which is how do you get it out there so that people will hear about it, care about it, and that stores and chains and places, bars, wherever you're trying to get it into will say, yes, we will carry it. Because shelf space is limited and valuable, and there's a zillion products out there. Mm-hmm. So how did you guys do it, and what did you learn anything interesting in that process?
I'll let him take this one because he's been given the instructions.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story, working on it for so many years, and you talking to people and being in the restaurant business, you got a lot of friends that own restaurants and stuff like that. And so you're seeing distributors come in with their stuff, whatever, and you're just kind of taking notes and visiting distilleries all around the country and just seeing how people do it. Had a meeting with someone who I thought was going to be able to take us, to one of the big distributors and make it happen, and came back and he basically gave me one of the worst meetings ever, like his total dream crushing, like it's over, it's not happening, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, wow. And so I remember I told Wendell about it, and I called another friend of mine, and I was just telling him about, like, that was horrible. You know what I mean?
Crushing.
Yeah, like so much for all this time. And then so he got on the phone and called a friend of his to ask the name of another distributor, because I thought I had it in the bag, to be honest, like with the connect that I had. And then, like, I was always telling him, like, oh, don't worry, I got it, it's cool, and
you're like, oh man,
and it was not cool. And then so he called his friend, and that friend turned out to be Tom Montague over at Silver Eagle, and he was like, hey, let us take a try at it. And he's like, no, it's not spirits, it's beer. I mean, it's not beer, it's spirits. And he's like, no, we're about to start doing spirits. And so,
right, and that's something they just did this last year,
yep.
Right?
And so that was the meeting, that was the blind taste test, and boom, we were their first spirit, ever to be picked up.
Cool. First one.
Yeah, and so that's the lane that
and they certainly have the relationships because of their beer portfolio.
They got them.
Yeah.
And so we're like their little baby, you know what I mean? Like in the spirits side of things, and it's great. I mean, that's the lane that we kind of want to stay in, is with the beer houses, because they you get to be like a specialty in their portfolio and get a little bit more attention. And plus, like I said, they have all the accounts in any given territory. I mean, they have them all. So, that's the lane that we kind of like in distribution.
You guys, one of the things that I would think is helpful is that you have a great story because you are different. If you had distilled the same vodka, but it didn't have the hemp as part of it, right. But if it was just as delicious, but you were now going into that time when you're trying to get shelf space at bars and in stores, like I feel like it would be much harder because the story wouldn't be as unique. At least, when I'm putting this on the menu that I have this, I can put it's Texas first hemp-based vodka. That's a thing,
it's very true. And so now we're fortunate enough to be in like in Texas. I mean, in Houston alone, just around close to 200 off-premise and close to 100 and change on-premise locations. And Spags, Total Wine, all that stuff. So
awesome. That's great. Do you guys have a
NRG? Because I kept hearing talking about football. We're there.
Nice.
Minute Maid, we're there.
Nice.
Lots of the cool venues.
Do you guys have a distillery tour or a hospitality room
Well, so
or bar?
we recently purchased 7 acres, and it has the capability, and we're doing
so this is in
construction
the
on
works.
it. Right, it's in the works. We hope to have it open by April 20th. No particular reason. We just picked that date off the calendar.
Of course you
That
did.
must be National Vodka Day.
So we're working towards that goal.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
That's-
yeah, and it's so new because you said March.
Oh, that's
when
beautiful.
you came out. That's amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
We have we've become a society, I think, that is really into supporting the local breweries and distilleries and stuff. But it really helps if we can go. We can be hands-on. We can take a look at what it's like, and we can, kind of sit and have some of your product. It's something people are really
It's
into.
a little more of the dehomogenization of the national
it's
palate.
all about local. We're seeing this in such a huge way with beer right now. Huge way. You're having little shops that would, or little breweries that would probably not stand a chance if they were just up against the forces of the beer industry. But they're being supported by people in the community who are coming out and going, I love coming here and playing horseshoes and tasting your different beers, and I can bring my dog and I can bring my kids and whatever the people really, really like being able to support local. It's becoming, it started with honey and now it's beer and vodka again.
Yeah.
For real.
I actually on Saturday this week I went and to 3 different breweries.
Nice.
They were all pretty close to each other. Went to
Was the third one the best?
it was Brash. So yeah,
Brash is good. Man.
Yeah, it was.
Brash is
It was
good.
outstanding.
Even if they were the first one, they're good.
they were the third one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. We went to Walking Stick Brewery, and then right across the street was a Heights. Greater Heights, I think. I can't remember the name of it. It was literally almost right across the street. And then we went to Brash after that. But, I mean, it's such a fun thing to just go try so many different things.
And it feels good because you're supporting the community, you're supporting your local people who are out there making this really amazing stuff. So what I'm trying to say is I think you'll find the community comes out and says,
Yes.
hey, they wrap their arms around you and go, we want to support this because this is good stuff and it's being made here.
Thank you.
That's a really
Awesome.
cool thing.
Appreciate
So,
that, yeah.
and you're seeing that. And see, so now whenever I go into another area of the country, I always want to find out where are the locals going.
That's right.
That's what I want to go and try, and not.
Hey, I have an
necessarily-
idea.
Yeah. You are an idea guy.
He's a genius.
That's one of the things I have always loved about you. You're an idea guy, and you make things happen.
I try to be proactive.
We are sampling Noble Ale Works Nobility. It's an Imperial IPA coming in at a measly,
9.1.
9.1, yeah. So I told you it was going to be Big Beer Day today. California Day and Big Beer Day. So on the show. This is a really, really... Oh man, a lot on the nose, a lot happening here.
It's got the IPA dank. I can smell.
It does
just
have
from
the
pouring
IPA
it.
dank.
You know what it also has though? It has a little more of the juicy sort of fruity vibe than I would have expected from an Imperial. Because when I think Imperial IPA, I think all hops. You're expecting that just hop, thunder, so to speak. But this has got a little bit of juiciness to it, so we'll see how that works. And Ian, I'm going to be really curious on this because I'm not expecting you to like this as much.
They don't say a whole lot on the can here. It says "Be noble, recycle." There's a government warning. Not a lot going on. It's a good-looking can, though. I like the
Minimal.
shield and everything. The colors are.
I will say that even though it has certainly has the IPA dankness going on, it's not just all resin and hops. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an Imperial, it's there, but it's not. It's got a little bit of that juicy vibe to smooth it out just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you're saying, Ian. You're probably going to find this.
I'm not. The IPAs are not my favorite. This one has a little much pine cone on the back end of the flavor for it. It's got a really nice malt profile right in the middle of the palate that I really enjoy. It's the pine cone aftertaste. Now, this may be them being a little devilish because when you take the next sip, you forget about the aftertaste.
That's right.
I don't know. This is just a me thing, though. That aftertaste is pleasant to a lot of people. But I'm assuming after I drank probably half of a can of this, I probably wouldn't care.
Well, it is an Imperial.
It is a good it's a good beer. The aftertaste to me is a little off-putting, but that's me and my IPA. But I do like a lot. I like the whole front of the palate. I like just about everything except for that point, and it's.
I will
I
say
like
that
the malt sweetness. That
this
goes on.
strikes me as one of those IPAs that if you are not an IPA fan, you're probably not going to be crazy about it. If you are an IPA fan, you're probably going to love it. It's got the things that IPA lovers want, I think, in large quantities.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I can see this is a little bit left of my sweet spot for an IPA. But I could see this being something that you would absolutely enjoy. Are you reading the Brian?
Yes, I was reading the Brian.
Nobility, it's the Return of the King, or Royal Imperial IPA summons an intense hot presence of lemongrass, mango, and papaya. Follow the royal procession from every citrusy sniff to each bitter sip. Notice the vibrant hop character shining brilliantly throughout, so regal, so royal, so noble.
None of that was on the can, by the way.
No, not
so
at
he
all.
must have looked on the website for Nobility to get that. We call him Wiki Brian for a reason. I definitely get the fruit flavors that I mentioned. I don't pick out the lemongrass necessarily.
I don't
Maybe
get
I'm
lemongrass.
just-
The
maybe
papaya
I'm just
makes
not getting it.
sense.
The
though.
papaya I get, yeah.
I think it's a nice beer. It's not something I'd pick out for myself to
Right.
drink, because it's not a style that I really.
I know I'm
Really
not
always
going. I know
want
I'm not going to win you over with every IPA.
How do you like it?
I like it a lot, actually, and I know I'm not going to win you over with every IPA. Now that said, I don't drink a lot of Imperial IPAs because generally the IPA styles I like trend a little more towards the juicy ones and the more balanced ones, and this one is definitely one of those.
I like this
hoppier
better
ones.
than quite a few IPAs you've brought me.
For a hoppy IPA, though, I think they do a really good job of making this drinkable and balanced.
Balance is the key there.
As long as you consider that it's already in that category. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
It's not just bitter up front and bitter on
Yes.
the end. This has a lot of stuff going on in the middle.
Yes, absolutely.
It's sweeter than a lot of IPAs, too. That's a little strange to me, but in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take another quick break, and we will come back to finally taste the one that I am expecting you to like. This is how I knew I'd win you back over. The Stone Farking Wheaton Woot Stout 2019.
Man, who likes stouts and anything from Stone?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Yeah, yeah. But for a company that is known for their IPAs, to do a stout that's as good as the Farking Wheaton Woot Stout usually is a pretty big deal. So this is this year's. So we'll see how it goes over. Plus the 20 best trends in craft beer right now coming up right after this. We'll be right back.
You guys have as much fun doing your show as we do.